Arena of the Contest. Then Flanks here with Code, and we're doing something a little different tonight. What you're looking at is not a mirror, but a two versions of the rule book. Because the most exciting kind of stream that we could think of was going over rules, right? And who doesn't have fun going over rules? So, for people that don't already know, if you look at my screen here on the right hand side, you'll see a book here with the index. And so, this is the revised rule book that we recently received from Alex. So, they put in some of their changes and other little things. And on the left side is the original rule book that comes with Arena of the Contest. So tonight we're gonna kind of just go through the rule book, and we may jump around a little bit, but we're just gonna kind of look and see what things have changed. I can tell you after my initial look through that I've done, not there's not a significant amount of changes. So this should be a relatively pretty short stream. Um, and we'll just talk about, we'll probably more focus on the new items that we've seen. And if you're wanting to see the rule book, the original rule book, or the revised rule book, we can send that to you through the Discord. We currently have it pinned up on the general channel right now. So anyway, so let's jump off the beginning here and go into see what things have changed. So right off the bat, the first item, which is actually a massive and very important change, is this right here, this index. So when the game came out, you'll notice here it shows just the credits and everything, but there's no index that exists in the original rulebook. So if you had to look for anything, you kind of had to just search around until you pretty much found it. They did actually come out with this index, which I think this is actually slightly improved from even the original index that they sent us. And that came out, I don't know, maybe like a month or two after the game released to backers. Um, and so you could print out this index and include it, but it wasn't actually a part of the original rulebook. So it's really nice to see that now it's officially in the rulebook, and it'll help you so much being able to jump around and find things so much quicker than what we've seen so far. So, all right, let's go to the next page here. As you'll see, we got the credits, kind of like what we were here before. And not to jump all over it, but there's a couple extra cool people listed in here if you want to spend the time. You'll see a couple of your favorite streamers are linked in there, as well as other Discord members in the special thanks section. So check that out. Anyway, components pretty much should be the same. I don't think there's really a difference. I feel this is kind of funny, this area right here about posting a picture of the game. They had that up originally too. Um, and the Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Arena of the Contest. And then they're like, oh, you could get featured on our web pages or win nice rewards and upcoming promotions. I think that was something that they wanted to do, but I don't think it ever even happened, right? I mean, I don't.
Don't.
Well, I guess there was a couple promotions, but it was more tied around like the new campaign, right? Or the recent Spiel digital thing. Like there was some things you could win, like contests,
Yeah,
but
stuff like that.
there wasn't actually anything too many other things. So who knows? Maybe in the future here, once the whole COVID things kind of dying down, maybe we'll see some more of this stuff. Maybe some tournaments or whatever. It might be fun. But then you'll see that there is on this new side accessarena.stl/components for the visual component list. So that's pretty awesome. Um, I mean, I don't know. Should we? I don't
Let's
even
try
know if
it.
that's a legit address. I mean, look at that. That's like, it doesn't look. Let's just try it.
I know
Arena.stl.
one of their websites I tried recently that I found somewhere and it didn't work yet. So
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's there. It doesn't
yeah,
even look like a full link anyway. So anyway,
it's there, but
maybe
it's
they'll
not.
add to it.
Yeah.
We'll see. Anyway, so then jumping into the table of context. Oh, they renamed it. That's funny. So the index is on the new version is an actual index versus now they're calling it the table of contents, which is actually more accurate to how you name things versus this is not really an index. This is a table of contents. So it seems like they got that figured out. And kind of looking through here real quick, I think it's pretty close to the same type of thing. They did add, let's see, oh, maybe they did leave it the same. For some reason, I feel like the some of the structuring was moved a little bit, at least with the cooperative mode area. But anyway, we'll go to it later. All right, introduction, how to use languages, all that kind of fun stuff. Tells you about the setting of the game. Of course, it's great when it doesn't actually match up, right? I don't know if you're watching on the stream code, but
I am.
um, so you got the overview here shows you how to set it up. I do like that uh, it's all on this one. It looks like one page here, which I think it was in the original rulebook too. It might just be the PDF layout that's a little funky, but this is real helpful. Thing to note though is you will see, look, they have symbols here like team tokens and special ready. They also use the symbols for the new plastic tokens as well that you could
Mhm.
get as the add-on. So that is a slight change that they did make here. All right, then we're jumping into the heroes. Heroes are all exactly the same as they were before because this is just covering core arena of the contest, which doesn't include the commanders, which is our 8th official class. The specials are not really considered a class, so they're not listed in here. They're classless, you could say, code.
Classless. Special class.
Special? How special are you? All right. So then we get to the turn order. If you don't know already, typical turn order for PvP is an alternating side of you have your first character on each side, and then they kind of alternate. So you got the black team goes, and then the white team goes with their first one, and the black team goes with their second one, the white team goes with their second one. This is slightly different in PvE, where you get to um, use all of your heroes first, and then the enemies go. Although there is a slight change to that as well, and we'll get to that eventually. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I might just want to talk about it now because I don't think it's in the rule book. So in PvE, we'll wait because this is just covering PvP. We'll wait till we get to the PvE section. All right, so the movement, you'll see it's pretty much the same sidestep stuff. All right, we're coming up to a new item here though, and that is first aid. So first aid has kind of always been a little underwhelming. We did ask when we code and the rest of the Discord community and I were all trying to come up with some improvements. One of the things was around first aid, which was always a little lackluster because you have to essentially give up quite a bit. You had to give up a special token, you had to use a movement point, you had to be adjacent to a dead ally, you had to use a special token and you only got 2 of them. You had to give up 21 hit points. And then that person would be resurrected and they get 20 health points. But then they wouldn't get any specials. Well, the change is it's essentially all of exactly the same thing. The only difference is now when you're resurrected, instead of losing all of your special attacks, you come back with all of your unspent special attacks. So this actually improves first aid quite a bit. And part of the reason that is because, and you know what? I wonder if we can see heroic revival in here. Yeah, we can. We can zoom up close enough. So you see heroic revival, which is one of your heroic actions. You get to spend a prime action, ignoring vision, blah blah blah, and then you revive a dead ally and place it within 5 squares of you with 22 hit points and no special attacks. So you'll notice there, you don't get any special attacks when you use this. And most other um, resurrections are similar, where you don't have any special attacks that you get back. I did actually ask Alex for some clarification just to make sure that there wasn't like a fundamental shift in the game that you don't get back, like when you die or whatever, you lose all your specials. But assuming that there's not, then I mean, this makes first aid quite a bit better. I mean, not having to lose your specials is really good. I mean, this is still going to be still pretty challenging. I don't know if it's quite the level that we were hoping for. I know that he did tell me that they tried doing some testing, but it didn't wasn't coming out as well as they were wanting. They were trying a bunch of different things to be able to like use a first aid token, and then I think I don't even remember now. It was like be able to like maybe like make like a movement or something like that. Uh, but I guess they just thought that it would become too powerful otherwise by changing it. So anyway, what do you think of that first aid change there, Code?
It was definitely needed. No one was really. I don't think we ever even used it on stream one time.
No.
So
Well, and I hate to lead everyone like off because I'm just one person, and since
right,
I lead most of these, everyone just kind of follows what I'm doing anyway. But personally, when we tried playing with first aid, it just seemed so useless. I mean, there's so much you have to give up, right? You lose your positioning because you have to be in a specific spot. You have to spend a movement point. You have to have the special token. You have to have this first aid token. You have to have like 21 hit points, and you're gonna lose all those. I mean, in total, you're you're not really losing any hit points, right? It's just transferring to someone else. But still, one of your characters is taking that hit. And
mhm,
then, not coming back with any special attacks, and then that person spawning like right next to you. It's just overall seemed really bad. The only thing that's good about it is you get a person back to life.
right.
So anyway, that's I think that's a good change. Hopefully, maybe we'll try playing it in another game and see if it's a little better now. But all right, so let's move on into out of memory.
Out
Huh?
of memory.
What's that mean? Oh man. All right, sorry kids. Hold on, I gotta get some more memory here. I think I ran out. Promise I think I have like an error processing a page. What the heck is going on? It's funny too because I actually have I think it's 32 gigabytes of RAM. So there's literally no reason I should have running out of memory, but I know Adobe is kind of funny. Well, let's just try keeping it maybe in the same plane. And we'll just try going. It's still screwing up. Weird. I wonder if maybe this rule book that I downloaded, maybe it got aired out or something. What page was I on? We're on the first aid page. Now we're going to attacks. Oh, now it seems to be working. All right. Well, sorry, making it a little more challenging than I was hoping this to be. All right, so we'll see attacks. Pretty much the same as before. I did ask for them to put like the attack time in a better spot, but they decided to continue to leave it in the same area. Oh, stupid error again. What is going on? All right, well, we're just gonna focus on the new rulebook then.
We don't
I
care about
did
the
I
old
did actually read through this, so I do know at least most of the changes. If you capture anything else that I've missed, then definitely make sure to put it in the comments. But I think I know mostly where they are. All right, so then we're going to some of the making attack rules, declaration of targets. We got those. Some of these rules are ones that I've discussed previous streams, like in the last shooter one, for example. We talked the shooter video. We talked about this rule specifically, where you can't exceed your max range. So,
Mhm.
anyway, so that's that one. This one here, I'm not sure if this one was. Man, I really want to open this other one so I can. Maybe if I like put it. No, it just instantly errors out. I might just have to download it again in the future. Open with. Maybe I can open it with, yeah, like Firefox or something here. Oop, come on. Okay, close that one. And can we make this two-page view? No. Oh, okay, wait, maybe we're getting somewhere. Here we go. All right. Yes, yes, yes. All right, here we go. Now we're gonna keep trying to go through. Whoa, whoa, jumping around too quick. Okay, so yeah, we're looking at page 19, which might be a little bit different in this one. Page 19. Okay, so they did have this diagram here of this striking around corners, which you do actually still get to hit somebody around a corner with like an AOE type attack. I think so. Then some of these are talking about distances, ranges, um, directions, vision. We talk about vision. They did add this one right here. You look here on the right hand side, and I think I do remember this. They mentioned this in an update. This this diagram here, it could be confused because you have corners that intersect walls. And so people were concerned that essentially, if you go by the definition, you could be in air, but actually you still can shoot down a hallway, and it does actually count. All right, focus. Focus, if you don't know, you have to not have any combatants, allies, or enemies within 3 squares of you. You give up all your movement to be able to make your attack, and that enemy will become exposed for that attack. Mobbed is kind of like it's a little similar to the melee version of focus, but still, I guess it's still pretty different. So you have to position your or your allies into spots that will place the character basically like at a disadvantage. So in the case, um, that they show in here, right? You have guys separated. This is something that someone idea wise, right, wouldn't be able to defend because two people are coming at them from different sides. In this case here, you have an ally at your back, and so they count this as a not mobbed condition. Even though you're surrounded on all different sides, you have one person that's still adjacent to you, so it makes it that you are not mobbed. One thing to keep in mind too, and this was a rule that part of the rules here. I'm not reading into the details. You gotta check it out for yourself. But one thing that wasn't apparent to me was, let's say I am in this first case, I'm person B, right? Uh, so when I make my attack, this person is exposed. Let's say now we're at this case on the left, this mob version, but I'm like another character that's standing like out here. What? You can see my cursor, right, on the right, or is it too far?
I see it on the right.
Okay. Oh, oh man. See, don't zoom in. You run out of memory. Okay. So if you imagine that I have another character, a range character that's standing out here, or I mean, it could even be a melee character. Um, even though uh, that these characters are mobbing this guy, this person that's standing out here to make their attack, they do not gain the advantage to mob. You have to actively be a part of the mobbing action, like these ones are, to be able to gain that negative condition of exposed on your enemy. Because and we played this. Man, this was a while ago, probably back in like June or so, and when we figured this one out. But yeah, so basically, ranged characters can't gain advantage, get that exposed advantage if their melee counterparts are doing a mobbing. So, which I think kind of tries to balance it out, right? Because if you just had a couple guys in good position and ranged characters can focus, then it'd make it a lot easier for them to hit more characters. So. All right. Anyway, moving on to the next things. We'll talk about miss, residuals, death. I really wish they had that section in death about the specials, like what happens to your specials, rather than like when you come back to life. But we go into effects and conditions. This is an area that's slightly changed. You'll notice here on the right hand side, there's all these little symbols. God, I would love to zoom into it, but I kind of get the feeling, yeah, it's just going to keep here. Maybe if I move it off to the side, maybe it's just, I don't know what it is about this. Adobe sucks, I think. Just keeps erroring. All right, let's try it again here. If you want to get the rulebook, definitely check out our Discord. Be able to see it there. Um, I think I already have it downloaded though. No, I thought I did. Maybe I didn't have it downloaded. Alright, well, maybe we can do this thing instead. Alright, we're gonna go back down where we were at before. Man, it's taking way longer than I thought this was gonna take. Alright, so you'll see here on the right, we have these new symbols here, and those are going to be used with those plastic tracking tokens. So, and it's just kind of a way and they actually are written in um, like the tabletop simulator mod. These are there as the little token tracking tokens as well, but kind of just helps distinguish the conditions a little easier. So kind of like that. Um, most of these rules are the same. Doors, there's a slight difference in doors. You'll see here on the right is the one by one tile doors have 15 hit points. I noticed that they didn't write the defense for these, but Alex did tell me that the defense I believe was supposed to be 4 instead of currently 6, because 6 is essentially the same as a good chunk of the classes, and it made it a little frustrating because it was just as easy to hit or just as hard to hit a door as it was a character. So they lowered the defense and health by 5 hit points, so 15 here, 25 here, versus where is it? Yeah, right here on the left. Yeah, 20 and 30. All right. Chess pretty much the same, except I think in boss matches you get less health now, right? Code. Hello, you still there? Maybe Code ran out of memory too.
Yeah, I'm running out of a lot of memory.
um, all right, so that's different. The slight difference now. Then we're gonna go to portals. This is a slight difference here. You'll notice that the portal icon, there's only one in the original rulebook and one portal. Well, now there is two different ones. There's a purple one and a green one, and then there's a blue portal and a red portal. And that's because, well, I know for sure portals is to allow different teams to be able to use portals that are specific to each team. Now, different altars, I don't know if that one's ever been discussed because there's not really a reason to have a specific team altar that I can think of, because it's supposed to be something that everyone can use. But the biggest difference here is before with altars, you could just use them, and then at the start of your turn, if you were on a altar and you made your attack, you were blessed, which gets you the best of 2 rolls. Now you get that, but then you also, if you take a hit, you or if you make a hit, I'm sorry, then you take 3 non-lethal damage. So there's a little penalty now to use the altar, versus before was just kind of free willy-nilly, and that was mostly related to PvP battles got really focused around altars, which is definitely very accurate.
It was always around the altars. It was like battling for the altars.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like almost every game I played, there was probably at least 70 to 80% of the battle was focused around an altar, and then the rest of the time was other places, but it was mostly focused around altars the whole game. So, all right, ruined swamps, artifacts. Those are all pretty much the same. You'll see that now there's this awesome picture of the Dragon Queen here that replaced. It looks like it replaced this picture, which is actually a pretty cool picture too. That team photo, it's like Avengers or something. Especially, it is kind of funny too, right? I almost feel like that one did fit pretty well because you're going into cooperative mode, right? Versus
Right.
this one, it's just like, oh, okay, it's a single character. I mean, it's a great picture, but not quite as fitting as the original one. All right, cooperative mode. Um, the original one did have a setup just like this new one does. Uh, Not too many differences here. All right, so this is what we were talking about before with rounds. Um, so a difference that's going to be happening in the rounds, and this isn't written in the rule book yet, is so the white side would be like all of your heroes, and then these dark characters would be the villains. And then, once so you take your all your heroes' turns, then the villains go, and then the next round starts with you again, and then it'll be all the villains again. Well, one of the changes that they decided to make was you will still be able to use your heroes first, but if you decide, let's say character C attacks villain A, once character C has finished, villain A will be able to activate to do his attack, whatever that may be, which is definitely different turn order than what this is showing here. And then, if A attacks, character A attacks villain A, then villain A will not be able to attack again. He'll just take that take that hit. He's pretty much exhausted by that point. So each one of these characters will still only get one time to act, but that first time they get the hit, they get to act immediately instead of waiting until it's their turn. Well, the reasoning that they used for this was essentially an arena, you'd be able to take, let's say, the CAB, everyone attacks A, and then maybe there's a good chance you could kill A off, and so then you only have to deal with B and C. So now you've made it a little easier on yourself because it's 3 versus 2. Well, so you get this immediate action, which makes things a little more challenging. But then at the same time, let's say you decide C, A, and B all decide to attack A and not hit B or C. Well, now B and C, if they were not attacked at all, they will actually get a bonus to their attack when it's their turn. And that's to encourage you to be able to strategically choose when to attack, either everyone attacking one character or spreading it across the enemies, or maybe attacking like A and B but leaving C alone. So anyway, so that's a pretty interesting change. What do you think about that one, Code?
I thought when I read it, it was very interesting that they're switching that how the rounds do in PvE. Um,
It
I
makes
think
it makes it a little more complex though, like the AI
it
aspect of it.
changes a lot, I think, and you're really gonna have to like revise your strategy because I know a lot of times it's always like you're trying to kill one of the enemies on your first try, so you only have to deal with like two, like you just
Hmm.
said as an example. So
Well, yeah, I
yeah,
mean, our group, we did it all the time that way. We just
right.
focus on one enemy, at least get one guy down. That way you're not dealing with as many.
Um, Now it's gonna be like you hit someone and they're gonna almost now it's their turn to make a move, so it's like almost like a counter attack type thing.
Yeah,
So you're really gonna have to revise how you walk into a
yeah.
lot of these missions if when you're playing that way with Tenaris Adventures. So it's gonna be, I think, fun in a way, but very
Definitely
much
gonna
more.
make it much more challenging. It makes me think of other things too, like enemies that are really far away that don't get to it, maybe just out of range to be able to attack, but then they get, because most of the enemies in the original campaign have pretty significant movement. I mean, a lot of them are like 8 movement at least, so they can move like further than all the heroes. So they
Mhm.
can do all of their movement, and so essentially they could potentially be out of range of you, and then move into range of you and attack you with a bonus
Hmm.
because you weren't able to attack them. So I don't know. We'll have to play with it and see what happens. And I'm not really sure what did they ever say exactly what the bonus was? Like if they get
No,
blessed or they get increased to attack or
I don't recall them mentioning what the bonus was.
yeah, maybe they're still figuring that out, but it should be pretty interesting. I do like that they're kind of making it a little more complex than it was previously, but at the same time, it's part of the thing that people like about this game is it is pretty simple. It doesn't, it's not gonna like really soak up your whole night to figure out the AI, right? I mean, there is some games out there where you got to really like think about, oh, well, does this guy go here or would he stand here because he wouldn't go to that spot over there because then he'd walk through this trap and blah blah blah. I mean, they have some of that, but not significant amount.
Right.
All right, so anyway, let's jump on. We're gonna go to quests. I think the quest section, this is slightly different right here, and that is specifically Overlord perks was finally added to the rulebook.
Yay!
Yay! Now I don't have to have two books to be able to figure out what Overlord perks is, or essentially have to flip. Remember how currently, for people that don't know, the Overlord perks is only written in one spot. It's written in the quest guide on like I think like the third page, and that's it. But it's used over and over and over throughout the quest guide, and so you have to like flip back to it if you don't remember it off the top of your head. Well, I guess I missed the components. I didn't really go deep into the components, but there was one little addition that they did add there, and you'll notice where is it? Right here, Overlord perks card. So now they're gonna include a card specifically for perks for the Overlord perks. So that's really good. The less like flipping through books you can do in a game is definitely way better.
Saves
Because
a lot of time.
yeah, I mean, this change is drastically needed. I mean, besides the thing of just being able to reference it quicker, this is literally a rule of the game. There's no way that this should have never not been included. And to top it off, this last bullet point, this one didn't even exist in the Overlord perks section in the quest guide. It was you had to find it in the FAQ. So this was a huge miss of them not including this one because this specific last item here, uh, if you guys saw me do the Hydra battle, this one here for sure makes me want to redo the Hydra battle because when we did that one, I think the Hydra did have a couple times he missed, and that was massive to him. But if he's only taking a -3 to his damage, he's gonna be hurting a lot more. So,
Mm.
or he's gonna be doing a lot of hurt. I mean, anyway, so this is a very good change. Super, super needed. Let's see, Quest Golden Rule. I think that one, yeah, it's exactly the same thing. It's just kind of written a little bit different. Yeah, you see it's like in two different sections. Whenever more than one enemy behavior or quest situation is possible within the rules, players choose. And then this actually gives an example of what to do for the golden rule. So like you exact same position and health, you get to choose which it is. So all right. This next part is pretty kind of cool. So it talks a little bit about the colored rings here, and we go a little further down. Um, 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 um. Oh, here it is. Okay, the doors. I feel like the door stats probably should just been written with the doors. So they did write the defense. So I was correct. It's for defense. Um, and they don't even have doors in the original rule book. So
No, I
that
think it's just in the quest guide.
yeah, so that's an addition right there. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these little items where it was like, oh, you got to learn these, it just all needs to be in the rule book. If you're going to use it like multiple times throughout the game, it needs to be in the rule book. It was ridiculous how it was only at the beginning of the quest guide. Somehow they just assumed everyone was going to remember everything all the time. All right, so now we're going to jump to another change here, and that is flasks. So flask here have changed. This is the original rule book that I'm looking at. One thing you'll notice is it says, so you shuffle. When a villain dies, replace its figure token with a token that represents a dropped flask. If you are on top of that token or an adjacent square, you may spend one movement point to remove the token from the grid and draw a card from the flask desk. You may spend one movement point to transfer a flask to adjacent ally. Well, now there's a difference there. So you make the deck. When a villain dies, the team must choose a hero. This hero may draw a card from the top of the flask deck. You may spend one movement point, transfer flask to an ally. So anyway, this second part here is new. This reduces that fiddly aspect of, okay, well, I'm putting down a token, and then I'm moving over there, and I'm using a movement point to now pick up that token. And then now I'm drawing a flask card. Now it's just like, yeah, a guy dies, okay, somebody on the team gets a flask. So this is actually pretty cool. I like that you get to choose which hero. I feel like in some cases this is a little bit better for the ranged characters. So sometimes you'd have a situation where maybe there's like multiple enemies and you kill one guy, but pretty much only the melee characters are going to pick up the flask, right? Because they're standing right next to them. So it's really easy for them to pick it up. And most of the melee characters, like tanks, tacticians, brutes, they have 6 movement. So movement's not a big thing for them to give up. But for a shooter, for example, to move all the way up, then spend a movement point to pick up a flask, he was probably much less likely to do that unless that whole area was cleared. So definitely a great change. Uh, Definitely be playing that one early. You still get to do 2 flasks. I think that's pretty much everything about that is exactly the same, except for the picking up flasks. That's the only part that's different. All right. Ooh, where are we going? It's jumping around here for some reason. All right. Boss fights. Yep. We got that. I think that's pretty much the same. Okay, this part's new. So this section here, I kind of like this. So this section here shows which colors for each of the miniatures will fit. So the funny thing is, I kind of noticed this when I was playing the game myself, but I'd never really thought about it that deeply. If you look at the cards you get, which these are very general cards, it'll be a picture of like just the soldier guy or the sniper or whatever, and you'll notice that there's not all of the color options. And so then you're like, oh, well, I got a purple one and a blue one and a green one still, but I don't see one for the soldier. Well, that's because there isn't one. He's supposed to only be the red, the orange, or the gray. And then the sniper's supposed to be only the purple, blue, or green, which wasn't very apparent from the original rule book. Um, and same thing with the Sentinel too. It's got its own certain color orientation, but so I kind of like that, defining that a little bit better to understand the coloring system. And then of course here we got all of the what the new plastic tokens are going to look like. And this is really, I mean, these other items, they're all right, you know, doors and whatnot. I'm not too worried about that kind of stuff. It's really this class thing that's, I think, probably the biggest, where you can just like look at each of these colors, grab one, and then you're ready to go. So, like, let's say you're grabbing, you know, Cedric. Well, just grab the red one, and then, you know, I guess the only thing is you got to grab whatever team color or team shape you're gonna be. If you're gonna be the circles, or if you're gonna be the what's this, hexagon?
That would be a hexagon. I know geometry, I swear.
I know, right? We know maths here.
We
So anyway, I like this, and then they made these change to team tokens, which I mean it was blue, red. It wasn't that hard to distinguish, but I think this might be a little bit, now that I think about it, this might even be a little bit better for some colorblind people too, right? Because now you could have different shapes and a little easier to distinguish. You don't have to just
Yes,
rely on color.
that's absolutely right. Different shapes will definitely help people who are colorblind because they could look at red and orange, I think,
Yeah.
and they can't tell the difference usually.
Yep.
But the symbols and the shapes will help.
Yep. Exactly. All right, then we got the Epic Campaign. This is pretty much exactly the same, I think. So one thing is about this quest reward. Someone asked this recently, and I know this confused me the first time I played it because they used the wording of it's like if you're playing the Epic Campaign, get the rewards according to how many quests you have played before. When they said that, I thought that meant, oh, okay, so it's the first time I played the game, so I guess I'll get the first quest thing, and then that was it. Then I figured I couldn't get any of the other things. Well, apparently that's not how it works. Once you complete Lava Citadel, which is always the first quest in the original campaign, you get this first free primary attack card. Then once you complete Blood Castle, you'll get this second one, free level up card. And then, as you keep going through the campaign, you'll get these other ones. So you get 5 total rewards, which definitely helps quite a bit um, as you go through the game. So just make sure to remember that once you complete each of the quests, because it's easy to forget this section. All right, experience points. I think that is pretty close to, yeah, pretty much about the same thing. Oh, here they go. This was one that I specifically asked for. Like power applies once per attack. I think we talked about this last week. Precision and protection apply in all attack rolls. So we were talking about Avalum in the last video with the shooters, and his multi-strike attacks, if he got a +1 to his power, then you'd think he'd be significantly stronger. Well, he only gets that applied to one of his targets. He doesn't get to apply it to all of his targets. Hey, hey, buddy. Night night. uh, anyway, so that is a slight difference there, a little extra explanation, which previously you had to just look in the forums to read this one. All right, then we got all these, basically tells you all the consumable thing, different items you can get, and consumable items, adjusting difficulty, which maybe this was slightly different. What? Oh, okay, never mind. Wait. Yeah, okay. Daydream. Did they rearrange the order of them, I think. Yeah. So in the new rule book, they went easy, hard. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Easy mode, hard mode. And then they describe easy. And then they describe hard, but they so one thing is they renamed this. Previously, I think it was what, easy,
Easy, normal, and
daydream,
nightmare.
normal, nightmare.
Daydream?
Yeah, right? So
I know the
daydream,
nightmare.
nightmare, and then now it's Yeah, so now it's renamed to easy, normal, and hard. And in hard, let's see, lava spikes, for example. Yeah, and then they rearranged it. Look, yeah, they rearranged them too. So the daydream are the easier versions at the end,
Mhm.
versus this other one's higher up. But it looks like it's the same otherwise. It's just rearranged. So all right, and I think, is that the last page? Yeah, I guess that is the last
Yeah.
page. I'm thinking of the campaign book that ends with on the very back page. It shows essentially this section here of the different items that you can spend during the campaign and how much they cost, which is really beneficial and nice. So you don't have to like flip through the rule book just to find this one part. But anyway, so that is the main differences here in the revised rulebook from Dragori. So you can start reading it up if you don't know anything about the game and want to kind of get ready to go when your game arrives here later this year or next year, and you be ready to rock. Otherwise, I think that is about it for today. Thanks for watching. If you find anything else in the rulebook, be sure to drop a comment, and we'll see you later. Thanks for attending.